So here we are getting started on day 10 of the kitchen remodel projects. The first project for this day is to work on this passageway between the dining room and the kitchen. In previous days we broke open this wall both horizontally and vertically to create a more of a open concept space between the dining room and kitchen. And so here I'm just working on putting some additional pieces of sheetrock in here in some of these little gaps between the trim and the existing sheetrock. And next I'll move on to mudding this area, taping and mudding this area. So yeah, I wanted to just I think this day get some of the so-called dirty work done first. The drywalling is sort of the bane of my existence for this job. It's probably my least favorite thing to do of all jobs around the house, besides maybe doing sewer line work. But just because drywalling, it's sort of a rinse and repeat process. A lot of times you have to put down a layer of mud, wait for it to dry, then come back to it and check it, sand it down. Then you may have to do a whole nother layer of mud, wait for it to dry, sand it down. And sometimes you have to do that a couple times before you get a nice smooth surface between pieces of sheetrock, or especially if you need to build out areas like I needed to in this area. Here you see Neil in the background cleaning the tile up in preparation for grouting the rest of the floor here. And here up top I'm moving on to the soffit box, putting another small layer of mud on the soffit box just to smooth out some areas where it didn't look perfect. We had already had the soffit box painted by Eddie the previous day, but we noticed there were a couple things. One, the color wasn't perfect, and two, there were still some inconsistencies, so I went ahead and just filled those in so I could repaint it again. So here you see Neil making quick work of grouting. Here you get a peek into our walk-in pantry. So Neil's moving right along here. He'll do a big section of grout and then come back a minute later or so and wipe it all down. You can see how quickly the grout dries out there. This is about, I think 1 second is about 1 minute of real time at this time-lapse rate. We took a time-lapse shot every 2 seconds, was the rate that I set on the GoPro. And by the way, this was all taken with a GoPro 2 camera. That thing was a trooper. It basically ran about 13-14 hours a day on average. There you see the Three Amigos bag. We ate Three Amigos burritos pretty much every day of this project. This kitchen project was powered by Three Amigos. So here you see Neil continuing on with grouting, and I'm starting to bring in the rest of the base cabinets here. So we've got the corner of the peninsula blocked out. The next cabinet that I need to put in here is the stovetop cabinet, which is this 36-inch wide cabinet. And here I'm just waiting for Neil to finish grouting this little section here. Then I'll put the stovetop cabinet in over it. And yeah, I'd mentioned in previous videos, but yeah, grouting work is a lot of repetitive sponge work, and you have to go through. You do an initial pass where you wipe off the majority of the excess, and then after that you go through and as you can see Neil here, he's basically doing one wipe and then cleaning off the sponge, one wipe, clean off the sponge, and it's a lot of repetitive work, but the end is that you don't end up with any weird residue or film on the tiles that will dry and be hard to scrape off later. So Neil's a seasoned pro at this, and he quickly makes his way through grouting all of this and cleaning it off, and we'll have a perfectly tiled and grouted floor in a couple minutes. So here I'm just putting on the legs and attaching on the stovetop cabinet here, checking level on it. And this is the end cabinet. This is an 18-inch wide cabinet. It's going to have a bunch of slide-out drawers. We did a bunch of slide-out drawers on most of these cabinets, actually, just to provide more usable space. Our previous cabinets were pretty horrible. They were very grimy, and they were hard to... The space was not well designed. So this new kitchen, we have a lot more area to place stuff. So now I'm moving on to the back side of the peninsula. So there's a whole series of cabinets that attach on this side. That is a full 24-inch deep cabinet that I've just attached on the end. And now there's a series of 15-inch deep cabinets that are 24 inches wide. And this section is going to have an overhang, a bar overhang of 9 inches. So these next 3 cabinets I put in are going to be inset from the countertop, and the countertop will overhang to the edge, and there'll be a 9-inch bar overhang there where we have some stools already, and just be a nice area for people to hang out in the kitchen and sit and have drinks or eat food, and we'll have a TV across on the other side, so it'll be a nice entertaining area, whereas before we had a weird little 2-foot tall like midget bar on that side that I have no idea why the previous owners of this house had that, or what the story was on it, but it was never very useful to us. So here I'm just running some electric through this peninsula. I need to set up an electric box for the stovetop and for a wine fridge that we're putting in. Oh, here's Neil grouting the bathroom that's attached to the kitchen. This is a small powder room, and he makes quick work of that. And so now you can see back to the peninsula here. So I've routed an electric line for the stovetop and the wine fridge, and now I'm running this additional GFCI electric box to the end of the peninsula. So we never had power over on this end before for doing cooking or food prep or whatever. So this was one of the things I wanted to have. We're widely expanding our space with this whole new countertop, so we can do food prep all around the all around the counter. So just running some electrical here. I put down this plastic wrap so I don't get grime on the grout when I cut all this out. I used an oscillator tool there and a jigsaw to cut that area out, and it just made it just big enough so I can fit the electrical box in there. So here, I went out, I picked up a 4x6, a big piece of 4x6 lumber, and I've cut down the 4x6 into these pre-measured blocks, and I'm putting 3 of these blocks under the peninsula that will anchor this whole peninsula into the ground. And so the plan with these blocks is that each of these blocks, I'm going to drill a hole down through the tile and into the slab foundation. There you see it pop forward a little. You can see these large lag bolts. So there's these 6-inch long lag bolts, and I'm going to countersink these lag bolts into these 4x6 blocks. And what I'll do next here is be taking out the rotary hammer and drilling down through the tile and into the slab foundation. And these holes that I'm drilling down are about 3.5–4 inches down. And what I'll be doing is attaching these blocks with these long 6-inch lag bolts with washers on them, and I'll be filling these holes that I'm drilling right now, filling the holes with epoxy, and then dropping these lag bolts down in there, and it will solidly secure these blocks. And then I will be able to screw in, I'll use construction adhesive and screws to anchor this whole peninsula in, so it will never be going anywhere. Drilling down like that with and epoxying bolts in position, it's a technique I'd used on when I built the deck in the backyard, we did a similar thing for the stairs to secure them in position. And so here I'm just on the electrical box. Neil's helping out with mounting this electrical box under. So here you can see the sun setting. It must be getting around 7 o'clock or so. And here at this point, I think just move on. I needed to build out this electrical outlet box that's going to feed the wine fridge and the stove top. So I'm down in this cabinet here, just attaching the electrical box up here. And now I've got these IRWIN vice grips, and I'm screwing cabinets together. And now moving on. So for this final cabinet at the end, I realized after I set this 4x6 anchoring block in, I needed to cut out a little bit of it in order to allow the very end cabinet to fit on. It's a lower cabinet, so we decided to do this drop-down lower cabinet at the end because this window here, the windowsill, is at a height of about 31 inches or so, and we didn't want the cabinet or the countertop to come up over the windowsill. So we have this slightly dropped down cabinet at the end. This is where the wine fridge will live, and we'll go ahead and still do a countertop in there that'll match the rest of the countertop. We have a plan for all that. So that's the end of day 10, and we continue on day 11.